I mean, I'm always incredibly, like, surprised in the best way when I see how they're able to do it. Like, tie in so many different relationships in this film, give every character sort of like their moment to shine, still make you care for them. I mean, so yeah, I'm all with that.
We have a history of working with ensembles. We did it on shows like Arrested Development and Community, where sometimes you'd have up to 10 characters in an episode. And those episodes are 20 minutes long. You have to work really hard to make sure that you're tracking each character. So we brought a lot of that experience that we had from working with ensembles to this movie. And the key is you just have to make sure that each character is different by the end of the film from where they started. So that there's some kind of movement with the character in the movie.
I mean, I think a lot of that has to do with Christopher and Steven, the writers, because I just don't know how they ever get, how they put things together, and especially with this movie, with a lot of characters, everyone feels like they have a moment and they have an arc, and so, but it really is that's credit to them, because I think they've known how to do the right temperature in terms of, just kind of where is the guy now, and that's sort of what this movie, in this film where we find him is how much of him is the same or new, or just an entirely different person merging of what you've seen so far.
And Joe, speaking of the Avengers, Joss Whedon has done a great job with the two first.
Absolutely.
And will there be any inheritance or incorporation of his DNA in the third one?
Well, I think certainly because, he set up characters and he set up character arcs and relationships and conflicts. And, our job as storytellers is to keep moving the Marvel Cinematic Universe forward. So, there is there's certainly his DNA exists. But also at the same time, we have very different styles. It's just it's like the interpretation in the comic books where different writers would write the same character. They write them very different ways because how they feel as an artist and how they want to interpret the character is different. So we have Joss's interpretation of Captain America is very different than our interpretation of Captain America.
They're both comic book fanatics. They both know these characters very, very well. I trust them both completely in terms of their barometer of what the fans want and are expecting. I think Joss comes from a little bit more of that quippy dialogue that you can find a lot more in comic books. I think Joss wanted to marry the aesthetic and the dialogue and just the vernacular in general to the comic book universe, whereas the Russos tried to depart to some degree from the comic books, frack the stories and the arcs, but bring the tone and the exchanges to a more grounded level.
Well, we like a real visceral quality to the action. We just grew up loving action movies, and that's what we have always liked about action films. I grew up on John Woo movies and John McTiernan films. So I like real visceral quality. So the only way to get that sometimes is to have the actors actually doing a lot of the fight work themselves, or really intense stunt work. But we certainly do still use a lot of CG. To the credit of our incredible visual effects team, you don't see a lot of it, because we like a very realistic approach to the look of the CG. So I think Civil War has more CG shots than any Marvel movie yet, but some of the work is hidden. It's so good that it's blended seamlessly into what's really there. So certainly moving into Infinity War, we will be pulling the characters into the universe that we have established in Winter Soldier and in Civil War, which is we like a grounded realism to the characters. So we're going to work hard to pull the giant purple Thanos into our more psychological realistic interpretation. with Thanos, who's the greatest threat to the universe that anyone's ever seen coming, that these characters are divided at the end of this film. They're in a very complicated place. You have no idea whether they're going to be able to repair this. That gives us some strong storytelling juice heading into Infinity War. It gives us somewhere to go with them, a story to tell about whether there's going to be repair or not be repair, and also makes the stakes much, much higher because Thanos is difficult to beat when they're united, almost impossible to beat. What's he going to be like when they're divided? So that really allows us to create a continuity between Civil War and Infinity War.